All right. Hello, everybody.
Welcome, everyone. While we're just getting settled here, let us know where you're joining from. Wonai and I are in, I was going to say sunny Calgary, but it's a little dreary today. Dreary Calgary. Where's everyone else joining from? Cloudy Vancouver, yes. Winnipeg.
Oh, I'm jealous, William. Still summertime in LA.
It's always summertime in LA. Lucky dogs over there. Welcome, everyone. We'll just give a few moments for people to join and get settled.
All right. Well, it's 2 p.m. Calgary time on the dot. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Pitch Day. So today we are celebrating our February 2023 game development cohort. All right, and before we get started, I will begin with a few housekeeping notes. Can everybody hear and see me okay? All right. Okay, so housekeeping. You can find the chat on the bottom right corner of your screen. And if you have any questions, find the questions area right next to the chat button to the left of it. We don't have time for a dedicated live Q&A today, but please post any questions that you have for our presenters in the questions area. All right, so I'm going to start off by introducing myself. So my name is Wonai Masvingise, and I'm the Student Outcomes Manager at CircuitStream. I'm the resident talent matchmaker between our students and our industry partners. Over to you, Arki.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arkatyiis. You can call me Arky. I'm the Student Experience Manager at CircuitStream, and I've had the honor of helping our learners prepare for their presentations today. So welcome, everybody. It's gonna be fun.
All right, so taking a quick look at the schedule for today's event, we are going to introduce who we are as CircuitStream and kick off the event. That should take about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we are going to go ahead and pass the mic over to the other partners from different studios and associations to introduce themselves and provide a little bit of support for the students. Following that, we're going to get into the bulk of our presentation today, which is the graduate pitches. And this should take about 75 minutes or so. At the very end, we'll do a quick wrap up of the event and provide some more information on how you can connect with us after the event. So we were founded in 2015. We identified a gap in the demand for education related to AR and VR. A lot has changed since then, and we've now expanded into the game design and development spaces. Our goal has always been to share a foundation of knowledge on the best tools, processes, and workflows. To date, we've reached 45,000 learners worldwide to develop these highly sought-after technical skills. Here's a snapshot of our current university partners. And we do have a few learners that are presenting today that are joining us through UBC as well as U of T.
Okay, so as when I shared, a few things have changed with our programs. We now offer boot camps. So our game development boot camp, which is the graduates you're going to see presenting today, is a 30-week intensive live online boot camp designed to help launch the development careers of new talent. To that end, what really sets this program apart from our other courses is that it has a career track with a dedicated career program that runs parallel to the technical program. Upon successful completion, learners are Circuit Stream certified game developers and have all the hard and soft skills required to launch a successful career in Unity 3D development. So as I just mentioned, Bootcamp has both a technical course and a career course that run in tandem. Hard skills that the learners gain through the technical course include C# scripting, collaboration tools, application development, agile development, API integration and persistent databases, and debugging and optimization. Soft skills here, this is where the career course was really crucial. Through career labs and one-on-ones with their career coach, we guided the learners through developing their communication, adaptability, proactivity, taking on a growth mindset with a special emphasis on teamwork and collaboration. So today you're going to see learners presenting their capstone projects. Learners were provided with a set of requirements with the goal of creating a minimum viable product within the span of just 4 weeks. They were able to create a project that was of personal interest for them, and they could choose to work solo or with others. And now, of course, that brings us to today's event. So our graduate profiles, of our 24 graduates with this cohort, 17 are presenting for you today. All are seeking employment. We will see a total of 11 presentations, 7 of which are solo presenters and 4 are groups or pairs working together. And lastly, today's graduates are located in Canada, the US, and Spain.
Thank you, Arki. I'm going to touch on our talent network a little bit here before we invite our first industry partner to speak. We are committed to supporting our alumni with their careers and personal development, and we take responsibility in connecting learners with industry partners and networks. For anybody interested in joining our talent network, our partners gain first access to our global alumni and talent, exclusive invites to connect with our career-ready graduates, assistance from the Circuit Stream team to source talent, presentations to our talent network, the ability to post and search for roles within our community, as well as features at events on websites, and on website and materials. Now, this is a snapshot of some of our partners, and this list was chosen specifically from our overall list as we have representatives from some of these companies with us today. And now, a word from a few of our industry partners. So first up, I'm going to call up on stage William. William is the CEO and founder of GoodbyeWorld Games.
Hey there, everything working all right?
Yes, it is.
Hi all, great to meet you at another pitch day here. This is my second, and I've been a long-time fan of Circuit Stream. I think I met Lou, the founder, in maybe 2014. And teaching and students have always been a huge part of my life and my professional career, just staying sharp and keeping with it and learning what the new talent is interested in. So a bit of background on me before I get into that. As she mentioned, my name is Will Hellworth. I went to school for game design at USC, and in 2014 started an independent company. I decided to go independent, and we released our first game several years later called Before Your Eyes. But through that, learned sort of, trial by fire, the process of starting an indie company and working with, people and hiring people. My experience with Circuit Stream is that last time at one of these pitch events, there was someone who made something exactly what I was looking for, and I was messaging them during the event saying, hey, can you work on this app for my tabletop role-playing game? So I'm a huge fan. I used to teach online courses for Unity and Circuit Stream. I know the value of the program and the value of the students. And I'm just, excited to see everyone's presentations. So please find me on LinkedIn or however through chat if you're interested in the independent side of video games. where it's a little bit more artsy and higher risk. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you so much, William. All right, up next, we have Kimberly, Game UX Designer at Ubisoft Montreal. Welcome to the stage, Kimberly.
Hello, hello. Do you hear me?
Oh, yes, loud and clear.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Kimberly Petitjean, and it's my first speech today here. I'm working in the game industry for 13 years now, and I am actually game UX designer at Ubisoft Montreal. So I'm working on an undisclosed project, so I kind of talk about it today. And I'm also a UX teacher, and I tutor many students in design. And I would like to say congrats to everyone, because you probably have been through a long journey at Circuit Stream. You probably have been working a lot the last week, and a new path, a new journey is opening now in front of you. So I know that the job search as a junior is not always easy, and so I wanted to address two advices today. So in every studio in the world, every Ubisoft studio, but also EA studios, we have user research labs, and we invite every week players to participate in user tests on our game. It could be good introduction on how Ubisoft games are made and how they include players. So some playtests are in the studio, some are in remote. So it allows making our games some less accessible to everyone, intuitive and enjoyable as well. And bonus, you're rewarded for this. So you just have to search for Ubisoft Playtest on the web. And secondly, do not hesitate to use mentorship. There is free mentorship online, like on ADP list. And seniors like people like me, for example, in design, or people like in development, they can help you whenever it is for reviewing your resume or asking for a technical test or just chatting. It's always very motivating to contact a professional that is already in the industry, and it can give you some advices. So I'm not hiring, I'm not a manager, but I can share the fact that we have 52 open positions in the Montreal studio, and we have 32 in Toronto. And for our project, we are actively looking for level designers. I know not all of you are level designers, you're in development, but I'm just saying it. I also want to point out that we never had layoff at Ubisoft. I know that the market seems crazy recently with layoff, but you have to know that it gives opportunity to juniors. That's the reality. So you are not in competition with seniors at all. You are fresh blood. And also, I have to tell you the truth, you cost much less than seniors. So it could be a good point for you. So again, congrats to every one of you, and welcome to the game family. If you have any question on the game industry, you can contact me anytime on LinkedIn or ADP list. And thank you very much. Thank you, Wonai.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Okay, so we'll move on to our next presenter. Our next presenter is Jocelyn. Jocelyn is the CEO and founder of Sisu VR. Jocelyn, you are welcome to the stage. Oh, okay. If Diana, if you could please assist Jocelyn, I will move on to our next presenter whilst Jocelyn is figuring that out. So our next presenter is Sky. Sky, if you're ready to hop on stage, please let me know. And Sky is the project manager at ASU Meteor Studio. Ah, okay. Okay, so what I'll do is, whilst that's being sorted out, I will see if our next presenter is able to hop on stage. And our next presenter is Grace. Grace is the founder of Design Buddies, an experienced designer at Electronic Arts.
Can you all?
All right, there you are. So I'll hop off stage, Grace. Over to you.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Grace, excited to be here. I've been in the game industry for about 3.5 years now. Full-time, I'm a UX designer at EA Electronic Arts. I also founded Design Buddies, a community of 60,000 designers in 3 years, helping designers land jobs. I'm also a content creator, so I make content about career and design on LinkedIn, as well as lifestyle and travel on Instagram. I love to draw as well. And Design Buddies is also a resource where y'all can also use to find jobs. We have a talent collective, a job board. My team at EA is not hiring right now, but I know EA has plenty of job openings. I think there was only like one round of layoffs, hopefully, but I've had a great experience at EA. I've actually been there for 3.5 years. It's my first job out of college, and I work on products on the player experience marketing team. So a lot of products for content creators and events. And congrats y'all for graduating the bootcamp. And for me, what I would tell my younger self getting into the games industry was, I guess, two pieces of advice. The first one is don't be afraid to seek. I know a lot of people who are like career transitioners, including myself. My background's actually in bioengineering and computer engineering in school, and I had a lot of imposter syndrome going into a new industry. But I would see that as a strength, because everything you learn builds up on each other. And in the games industry and any industry, you collaborate a lot with other people. So now I work really well with engineers. Engineering helps me be able to think in systems. So don't see your past experience, even if you might feel like behind, as a drawback, but see that as a strength and use that to stand out in the job market. The other piece of advice would be about standing out. I know with all the layoffs, there's so many people in the job market, so many experienced people. But for me personally, I found that creating content on LinkedIn actually helped me stand out. So creating content about what you learned, what events you're attending, your takeaways, tagging the speakers, because I say LinkedIn because it's where a lot of people in positions of hiring hang out in. And I have this whole article about how I actually got into EA without applying, so I can also drop it in the chat as well. I'll drop my links below. Hopefully you get dream jobs and keep learning. Learn never stops, and keep building. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Grace. All right. I'm not sure if the previous presenters have had their... Oh, we have Jocelyn. Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna find your page quickly. There we are. All right, over to you, Jocelyn.
Okay, thanks, Wonai. I'm not sure if you all can hear me. Please let me know in the chat if my volume isn't coming through. But hello, everyone. Konnichiwa. My name is Jocelyn Tan, and I'm the CEO and founder of Sisu VR. I just came from Japan, and that's why I'm wearing my kimono garb. I wanted to congratulate all of the program participants who have graduated. Y'all are amazing. I know that I haven't met every one of you, but I would love to connect with you offline. I'm going to throw in my LinkedIn in the chat in a minute here. But essentially a bit about me and my company. So I started Sisu VR about 5 years ago, and it was a result of me being an engineer, being in the STEM field, and facing quite a bit of harassment, discrimination, and bullying. And I said, hey, there's this problem that isn't only affecting me, it's affecting many other people. And currently companies are training their employees to be better, to have better behaviors. But the training curriculum is extremely boring, and nobody obviously enjoys the training curriculum based on surveys, and maybe even you've experienced the situation. So that's the reason why I started Sisu VR. It's basically VR training for how to prevent harassment, how to respond to harassment, bullying, and discrimination in the workplace, especially. And we also have a safety component. So we teach civilians and employees how to respond to an active shooting. So I'm based in California, and I'm currently hiring for interns in particularly XR design, UX design. So if you are interested to get in touch with me, please email me or connect with me on LinkedIn. And finally, I would like to give a bit of advice as far as what I've learned throughout my journey. I would say never give up, and don't say no to something that you might not be specifically interested in. Say like you're not so keen on, just to give an example, like back-end coding, and you're more of a front-end person. But if you're offered that opportunity and you've never really had hands-on experience in that, in like a professional perspective, then maybe give it a try. I would also say remember to be empathy-driven, and try to communicate in an open and empathy-driven way, because it's very, I would say it's a little bit under, it's not something that people really talk about a lot, but that's how you create a really good culture, a culture where you want to work with the people that have this type of traits, right? So a place where you can thrive and continue to grow in. So yeah, I would say those two things. So thank you so much for having me.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. And that is some really great advice. Don't give up. All right, so we will move on to our next speaker if they are ready. Sky from ASU Meteor Studio.
It looks like Sky is still with the wrong link here. So what I'm going to do, Sky, is I'm going to quickly share the correct link with you. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I'm actually just going to put it in this public chat here, and we don't need to worry about anyone accidentally joining, because unless you were added as a speaker, you won't be able to join. And we'll just give Sky a couple moments to pop on stage here. So Wonai, you and I get to chit chat. What's some that you would give?
The advice that I would give would be, I would echo what Kimberly said, in that, don't be discouraged by seeing all of these gaming companies that are having layoffs happening at the moment. And like she said, those are mostly affecting the seniors in the industry. But for juniors, companies are still hiring, and there are companies that are still on the lookout for talent like yourselves. So yeah, that's the advice that I would give. What would you say, Arki?
I think for me, the biggest thing is just don't discount yourself and don't take yourself out of the running prematurely. Like, I have heard from so many graduates who say, oh, this job posting wants 5 years experience, it's too senior for me. And so they don't even go for it. But you need to also keep in mind that while, yes, some companies truly are looking for that level of experience, they're also kind of trying to weed out applicants. And so if you're just brave enough to put yourself out there, my thing is always, if you make it to the first interview, you got it from there, you know. Just really go for it. Don't try to take yourself out. Don't be intimidated. Let a company say no to you. Don't say no to yourself before you even try. I really see people getting very intimidated when they're trying to make a career switch, and there's no need. Just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also see in the chat there, thank you, William. William says that they have hired 3 junior positions in the last 6 months alone. And also Kimberly says that they have 6 out of 8 UI designers that are junior in the presentation team. So there are jobs out there. Do not stop applying for positions, and go for it. Imposter syndrome, yes, it's understandable and it happens, and it's okay to feel it. But my advice is always to feel it, but do it anyway. Right? You will feel that, but allow yourself to feel that, but don't let it stop you from going after your dreams. All right. And Grace says that imposter syndrome means that you're doing something to help you grow. Absolutely. And if you're feeling uncomfortable about something, it means that, that discomfort, right? They say that there's no growth in your comfort zone. So if you're feeling discomfort, it means that you're on the path to growth. So I absolutely agree with that. And then Indy was asking everybody, what are your favorite games? Grace says Maple Story, StarCraft, Fortnite, Souls, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Echo VR, Pokemon Emerald. Wow, that's a lot of really interesting games coming on there.
Okay, I think Sky's still having some problems accessing the stage. So my suggestion is that we move on to the pitches for now. And Sky, if you can get everything working for the end when we wrap, then we'll bring you on stage for the wrap. Sound good to you, Wonai?
Yep, amazing.
Okay, thanks for your patience, everyone. Really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's begin the pitch session. So reminder to please share your comments in the chat as you have been. And if you do have a specific question for any of our presenters, please do post it in the questions area. It's just right next to the chat on the left. The presenters will be staying attuned to the chat and the questions area, and hopefully we can get some nice engagement going. So good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everybody.
First up, we have Liliana. Good luck. You're going to do great.
Thank you, Arki. Good afternoon and welcome to the event. My name is Liliana Monsalve and I'm a software engineer with experience in software as a service, product management, and coding. I'm looking for a job within a team creating outstanding experiences in Vancouver or remotely. Today, I want you to leave with 3 insights that you can apply in your companies, and I'm sure that is going to resonate with you. Let's start with the first one in the next slide, which is the potential of the use of gamification in business context. While collaborating cross-functionally with teams, I've seen how applied gamification helps streamline processes that are usually boring or difficult to enforce. Does your company offer remote or hybrid work? Or are you working with a partner company doing it? I bet that all of you do. In this context, building the sense of belonging and well-being in employees is a challenge for companies. So for my capstone project, I saw the opportunity to create a gamified tool to incentive employees to take active breaks with an easy-to-play game accessible anywhere, serving in that way on-site, hybrid, and remote workers. I decided not to create a VR game based on the logistics required to provide headsets to the employees. Instead, I created a minimum viable product of a first-person survival augmented reality game in which the player should stand up, move, and beat aliens while enjoying an active break. Let's take a look at the AR game I developed in the next slide.
Breaking news. Aliens from another dimension are invading Earth and trying to contaminate Earth's water. Videos from around the globe have been showing alien breaches opening on top of big and small cities. Even inside of buildings. A group of scientists have identified a rare marine alga in Hawaii which absorbs the interdimensional pollutant, helping to defeat the aliens. Protect Earth's water sources by decontaminating them with one finger tap, shielding them with Hawaiian algae by tapping once with 2 fingers. If you need to stop using it, just swipe the algae away. You can pinch the alien to make it smaller, making it harder for them to reach our water sources. A breach from another dimension has opened on top of you, and you must save the planet from invasion. Protect at least 60 of the Earth's water power from pollution by the time the breach gets down to reunite with the aliens.
I coded the interactions of the player with the screen using observer pattern. Also, I use particle systems and collision management for the breach, which is the gold mantle falling to reunite with the aliens. As you can see, I created breach in 5 weeks, and what follows for breach are more iterations to make it multiplayer and to spice up the visual effects. As my second insight in the next slide, I can tell you that the time used in technical design is an investment. For Breach, I created a class diagram, an activities diagram, and the main sequence diagrams. Those documents helped me untangle issues I faced while coding and allowed me to change and improve my code easily. Keep in mind that these diagrams got improved and evolved over time. Additionally, for you, the onboarding process of new team members will be way more easy. Just remember, don't go over 5 UML documents. In my next slide, as my last insight, I want to highlight the use of object pooling. Even though Breach doesn't spawn a large number of algae and aliens, I implemented the object pooling pattern for each of them. And you may ask why. Based on the high speed required to create and destroy algae, implementing an algae pool reduces the total cost of creating new objects. Additionally, having an aliens pool provided a way to control the supply of reusable objects, making it easy to expand the number of enemies to increase the difficulty for the player without having to modify or create more code, and therefore without any impact over the game performance. Next slide, please. I hope these insights will be useful to you. I'm Liliana Monsalve, and I'm looking for a job within a team contributing to the creation of outstanding experiences in Vancouver or remotely. Thank you, and let's get in touch.
Well done. Great job, Liliana. That was excellent. And I see you already have a question over in the questions area from Eli. So thank you so much. We'll move on to our next group. And while they're getting ready, quick disclaimer, if no one's realized yet, we're having some little issues with Livestorm today. So if there's anything kind of weird happening with the stream, just please bear with us and stick it out. Thanks, everyone. So up next, we have Daryl and Chris. Good luck, you two.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daryl Miller, and this is our real-time strategy and auto battler game called Forbidden Realms. I was the team lead responsible for the core gameplay, AI system, and battle logic, and I'm currently seeking employment and mentorship. And this is my teammate.
Hello, I am Krzysztof Oleksiak. I took focus on menus and terrain because it was the perfect opportunity to gain some more experience with these, and I am currently seeking connections and internship or part-time employment.
This project was inspired by the games I played growing up, Age of Empires, Red Alert, and StarCraft. As an engineer, I'm trained to problem solve and think critically. My Unity journey began 3 years ago, and I haven't looked back since.
My passion for games has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. And after I was introduced to coding, I knew I wanted to use it for game development. And now I'm eager to get some experience in this field.
At its core, Forbidden Realms is a multiplayer strategy game with a twist. Next slide. Players are given the power to program unit behavior before the battle. Drawing from inspiration from these games and many others, Forbidden Realms will feature quick matches of tactics, luck, and surprises. Please enjoy a trailer.
Welcome to Forbidden Realms, a real-time strategy game that seamlessly integrates pre-game strategy with real-time strategic gameplay. Players are able to meticulously plan their army tactics by customizing their armies down to the behavior of the individual units. Each player brings an army to the battlefield and engages in challenging real-time battles, necessitating quick and strategic decision-making to lead their armies to victory.
Since unit creation was a big part of our game, the goal for menus was to keep them engaging yet easy to navigate. Organizing meetings with Daryl and keeping in close contact was important to bring his ideas for the game to life, and working tandem with him to connect menus with the backend AI, which he had focused on. For the terrain, we had many discussions early in development to determine level requirements we had, since we wanted to focus on making one really good level, and we decided on making a contained area with elevation changes while keeping it roughly symmetrical. Multiple paths to give multiple options, and taking main inspiration from this one Halo map we were both familiar with and liked quite a bit.
We achieved all this through weekly sprints with set targets, aided by our various sequence and class diagrams. Considering AI design, players need to be able to create rules for each unit, broken down into an action, a target, be it enemy or ally, and any number of trigger conditions. If you're familiar with FF12, they called it a gambit. Since units are independent and autonomous, the design required flexible states and actions with loose coupling. Built on a solid abstract base, all these components are easily scalable.
With preparation before the matches being a big chunk of our gameplay, we needed to keep battles engaging with particle effects, and we decided that this was very important, so we really focused on using our shader and material knowledge on making the fights engaging and visually stunning. And lastly, I want to bring some focus to our solution for making savable scriptable objects, because we had a bit of trouble, but saving the units through JSON files worked quite well.
We learned so much in just 4 weeks and had a blast doing so. My plan is to continue developing for publishing. Multiplayer will be a key feature and a fun challenge.
And I'm very happy to have this experience working with Daryl on this project he was so passionate about.
One last time, my name is Daryl Miller. I'm seeking employment as a game programmer locally in Vancouver or remote, and mentorship to publish this project.
And I am Krzysztof Oleksiak, looking for connections and internship. We look forward to anyone getting in touch, and thank you for your time.
Well done, you two. Excellent work. Next up to the stage, we have Andrew and June. Welcome. Good luck, you two.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Welcome to our presentation. Today we'll be talking about a project. We pick Gopher. Next slide, please. Hi, so my name is June. I'm a Korean immigrant that's looking to join the game industry, be as a game developer or as a game tester. I already have a diploma in software development with experiences in languages such as Java, C#, HTML, and now in Unity, but I hope to keep learning more and more in the future.
And my name is Andrew. I'm looking for work in the game development industry. I took this course to revisit my old passion, game programming. I'm enthusiastic about learning new programming languages, techniques, and skills. After graduating from this bootcamp and acquiring CircuitStream's Unity developer and Unity's Certified Associate Programmer certification, I'm now taking CircuitStream's XR Dev course, and I'm looking to expand my knowledge in the future, not only in Unity, but with Unreal Engine as well. Next slide, please.
So our idea for this game is to make a roguelike dungeon crawler with fully randomly generated levels and enemies. So this inspiration came from Dead Cells and Hades. We wanted to create a similar playful and light-hearted roguelike action game and dungeon crawling. We also were very inspired by the aesthetics from Pixel Dungeon. So, next slide, please.
This is our game environment, and we chose to use Synthy's dungeon assets for our prototype as they are low poly, match our theme, and look great. Here I'm showing off the way that the environment fades when it occludes the character from the camera. And we also made a fully scripted kinematic character controller because we knew we would need in-depth control of our character in the future, especially when fighting enemies. This was very difficult to get right. As you can see, the terrain is fairly complex with lots of stairs and bumps on the ground. To make it look realistic, we cast the player's collider forward to check for collisions and moved it accordingly. And here's our first iteration of our combat system. We first implemented a simple punch that both the player and enemy can perform and deal damage to each other, and as you can see, when the enemy wins, they do a little dance.
And here's some more visuals from our game. So we wanted to really focus on the animations and the player interacting with the world and the enemies. You can see, sorry. So for our development, we set up tasks by week. So week 1, we formed our teams and we conceptualized the game and each took tasks. Week 2, we set up our assets and then we made player movement and then we made sure the camera could follow the player without getting stuck on walls. Week 3, we implemented the player and enemy combat as well as the enemy AI to chase and attack the player. Week 4 was just mostly touch-ups and animation finishes for the prototype, as you saw there.
We had many issues with Unity's occlusion culling and light mapping, as they're plagued with long bake times and no logs to tell you what went wrong and when the bake failed. And to make things worse, the settings for occlusion culling require you to guess and check to tailor to your scene. And also, our initial team for this ambitious project had 3 members, and unfortunately, our partner had to leave due to health-related circumstances. As a result, large amounts of work that was planned during our ideation phase and sprints were left in the air.
We also, how we came on top is we tried to implement lots of new concepts that were beyond the bootcamp and has a chance to push ourselves and to learn more. And doing so, we looked through a lot of the Unity forums and documentation, and we challenged ourselves to implement this concept in the short time. And to account for our experience and our small team, ClickUp was vital to set our goals week by week and also to readjust our scope for the game and reassign tasks as needed throughout the weeks of development. Next slide, please.
Things we want to complete for our finished project are randomly generated levels and weapons to keep the game fresh for our players, voice acting to make the game more lighthearted. We want the character to say a punny joke at the beginning of each level and boss fight. Improved fighting mechanics, including a lock-on system similar to The Legend of Zelda's Breath of the Wild, where the player locks onto an enemy to constantly face them, even when rolling or strafing, making fighting more enjoyable, and shops for the player to buy items or power-ups. thank everybody for watching, and thank you to Circuit Stream for this amazing opportunity. Here's our contact details, and as well, I believe Diana posted our LinkedIn's in the chat. Feel free to contact us in any way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great work. Well done, you two. Awesome. Next up, we have Anabella. We'll welcome Anabella to the stage here. Here she is. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Well, first of all, hi, I'm Anabella Farroni. I come from Argentina and I'm located in Spain. I wear two hats, one as a UX designer focused on XR and the other as a Unity developer. I'm currently in between roles and looking for a new position. I enjoy making games, and thanks to the bootcamp, I was able to make a vertical slice of an idea that was roaming on my mind for some time ago. I built it as a solo developer, but I'm keen to work with others and keep learning in the game-making world. Next slide. So when I first moved to Spain, I realized the comforting presence a pet can bring, especially during tough times. But real pets need commitment, a long-term commitment that is not always possible. So this sparked an idea. Why not have a cute virtual companion to care for and play with, minus the long-term commitment? So please take a look at it.
Blinny, where virtual care takes center stage. Nurture your Blinny, ensuring their well-being through intuitive daily routines. Feed and interact with your Blinny, cultivating a bond unique to each player. Harvest from your garden, emphasizing sustainability. Customize your Blinny surroundings, reflecting your personal style. Dress up your Blinny with accessories, making them truly unique. Collect the rewards of your care and attention. Stay engaged, with daily missions and rewards keeping the experience fresh. Dive into immersive minigames, offering both challenge and fun, enhancing player retention. Blinny, a world where care, customization, and fun converge.
So the path wasn't smooth all the time, especially as a solo developer. Some of the biggest challenges I had to face was handling a vast amount of data that was solved by saving it asynchronously. The main thing was managing real-time growth, especially during the app inactive periods. That was solved by comparing timestamps. And to ensure a consistent gameplay across different platforms, needed a lot of testing on both iOS and Android. So this journey began in September, culminating with a vertical slice that was deployed for both Android and iOS the first week of October. The rest of that month was all about bug fixing and gathering feedback. And this month, I'm starting designing the new player experience and onboarding to be able to implement it by December. So the roadmap is pretty clear. Short to mid-term priorities include refining the player experience, especially the new player experience, and implement the final UI elements and audio files, and include some customization elements. And for the long haul, I'm thinking on implementing more minigames, some of them with multiplayer features, and design and introduce the monetization strategies, and making some marketing efforts. Blinny is more than just a game. At the end, it's the result of my hard work and skills, and I'm looking to expand my journey in game development and find a job that lets me use both my design and my Unity skills. If you're interested in Blinny for any collaborations, or you think I might be a good fit for your team, please get in touch. You can do so through LinkedIn or email. And also, please take a look and check out the website, where you can see other projects I work on. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you like it.
So awesome. Well done, Anabella. So this game is published, so you're all welcome to check it out. And Anabella, I see that you have a question as well. You can tend to. Thank you so much. And next up, I will invite Tracie to the stage.
Hello, can you hear me, Arky?
Yes, welcome.
Okay,
Good luck.
Thank you. So, howdy everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Tracie, and I'm here to showcase my game Recollection Redo for a moment. Next slide, please. But before we get into that, let's get acquainted. So, to reiterate, my name is Tracie Turner. I'm also known as Chalky Milky in the dev sphere. I'm the game director at Chalky Milky Studio, as well as the lead developer at the Barbie Girls Rewritten project. If you are so inclined, I believe I excel in UI, narrative, graphics, collision, sound and level systems in 2D and 3D using both Unity and Godot. I'm based in Southern California, and I'm willing to work remote, hybrid, in an office, and I am Circuit Stream Design and Development certified. So, what's the premise of this game? Well, Recollection Redo was birthed out of the desire to marry my old flame of art history with my newfound love of game development. I desire for the player to take part in a playful yet poetic riddle experience through gameplay and player ingenuity that uncovers a larger world-building narrative around our main character, Reconstruction. So with that being said, you may wonder how this was actualized, and well, let's take a look at the creative process. So I heavily rely on Figma for design and development wireframes. And if we see here, we can take a look at the development pipeline. We can see the game's progress catalog documenting major achievements throughout the 3-month series, hours 0 to 400, from early phase level building to late phase player UI. And if you are curious, the work hours aggregation was compiled via Git commits and Asana work logs. Additionally, taking a look at the design schema, I use this wireframe as a compilation springboard of a task list for any and all mechanics, components, or inspiration for the game. And lastly, but not least, we find here the UML structure displaying the script's relationship within the code network. Next slide, please. So without further ado, let's take a look at the gameplay.
Hello, welcome to the Recollection Redo Speedrun 90% by Tracie Milky. So, some key outcomes for the game were to encourage player sovereignty via providing alternate endings to give the player a sense of shock value when catapulted to different cutscenes, either through controlling the consciousness as we see here, or uncovering the lost media. These two avenues were accomplished via the investigation system. Additionally, I aim to encourage traversal across the level and convergence at the riddle launch point for a cohesive game state flow through the cloud waypoint system. Some upcoming ambitions for the project include reinterpreting the opening video as a gameplay element for WebGL port, renovating the staircase level in Blender, implementing occlusion culling and UI exclusive machine cameras, and a save load play system via a third alternate ending. And finally, expanding on the riddles, lost media, and lore itself. Thank you so much for watching.
Alrighty, thank you for tuning into the demo. I really appreciate it. So looking towards the future. Next slide, please. I am open to any and all employment opportunities or project collaborations. And if you are so inclined to reach out, I do have a website. Oh, Wonai, go back, please. Thank you. So yes, if you would like to reach out, I do have a website acting as a central hub for my connections to my GitHub and my itch. I also have a private Discord server, as well as more traditional forms of communication, such as email and LinkedIn. Next slide, please. And I just wanted to take a moment to briefly express one more slide. Thank you. I just wanted to take a moment really quick to express gratitude to those who aided me in the journey, everyone presenting today, those who put on the event, and everyone who's listening in. And that's all from me. Thank you so much. Take care.
Great job, Tracie. And just apologies to everyone. There's some internet issues here in Calgary, so there's some lag with the slides. So that's why sometimes we skip ahead one too many. Just thanks for your patience. The ongoing tech issues of living in the 21st century here. So great job, Tracie. Next up, we have Kelvin. Kelvin, please join me up on stage here.
Okay, hello. Thank you, Arky.
Hello. You're most welcome. Good luck.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, fellow classmates and alumni, and all the great industry partners and guests that are here today. My name is Calvin Dyck. I am from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and my game is Intergalactic Assault. Had some gifts there at the beginning, just showing the kind of the simplicity of it and what the game looks like from a top-down perspective. But before I show a full-on trailer and get into the game, a little bit about myself. I'm located here in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm an aspiring game developer and designer with a background in legal studies. I have an undergraduate degree in legal studies and the humanities, so kind of English and philosophy. And I've pivoted into the game industry because I really have a passion for writing as well as for video games, and I'd love to see those converge. And I really wanted to learn the fundamentals and make my way into the industry. So I've 3D modeled other games in this course that can be found on my portfolio. That'll be linked at the end. And I'm currently learning further web development and graphic design and HTML on top of the coding that's been taught in this course. And my end goal is to work as a writer or a narrative designer specifically for any kind of interactive media, although I'm very much new to the industry and I'm open to any work, mentorship, or connection opportunities. And next slide, please. So the goal with my game, Intergalactic Assault, was to create a 2D style arcade shooter, very reminiscent of the arcade classics like Galaga, space shooters, and to make it, of course, as a one-man team in the 1-month development period that we were given. This game, I want to just have a top-down perspective for the player to shoot at incoming aliens that will bob and weave as they approach them, have a background score reminiscent of the 8-bit chiptune era, and to have gameplay that just really focuses on the gamification of it. While I mentioned I'm very interested in writing and writing aspects of games, and even in a previous game here in this course was part of a group effort where I got to do some really great 3D modeling and writing for the narrative of the game. For the 1-month development period and a one-man team, I really just wanted to make a simple, retro-style video game that works really well. So if you go to the next slide, I have a simple trailer for the game. So yeah, thank you for playing that. Version 1.0, or kind of the vertical slice that we built here, is available now on my itch.io. I see Diana has linked to my LinkedIn in the chat, which is great. I've also been opening up everybody's LinkedIn that's here today. Looking forward to connecting through that. I do believe I also have both my portfolio and the itch.io page linked there, so you can find them through the LinkedIn as well. So yeah, on the game, problems faced and overcame. I had some general restraint, obviously, due to the time period given. A little bit of issues with the camera and mouse tracking, having it both track one player and interact with other things. And minion and enemy movement, I really wanted to do more than just have it come towards the player character. So I added a lot of strafing that I'm not sure picked up in the trailer. It's a little bit choppy, but that's all right. so that they strafe side to side, again, reminiscent of those classic games. And so it kind of randomizes the way they attack the player, makes it a little more hard for you to shoot them as they're incoming. And then, yeah, use some layering to make sure bullets, walls, and the player itself was on different levels and layers so that things could collide and not collide. And used some assets that were from open asset stores and free domain music as well to make sure it all came together as one cohesive game. And yeah, so next slide, please. So contact info and next steps. I have really enjoyed this program here at CircuitStream. I'm currently furthering my coding studies, as I kind of mentioned, at a local college with some web design and general interactive media studies. It's only a one-year program and a bit, and I'm already halfway through it. So at this time, I'm, like I mentioned, totally open to any kind of connection, job opportunities, internship opportunities, but it will be another year before I'm able to relocate. So they would have to be local to Ottawa, Ontario, or remote work. So yeah, again, the LinkedIn has been put in the chat there by Diana. The portfolio is calvindick.myportfolio.com, and the itch.io/intergalactic assault is where you can find that game. For any direct inquiries, got my email there, as well as my personal number. Thank you everyone for coming today and for your time and interest.
Great job, Kelvin. Well done. Next up, I will invite Robert to the stage.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good luck.
Thanks. All right, so my game is Be There, Be Square. It's a game where if you aren't there, you quite literally do become a square, or I guess a cube, but it just didn't have the same ring. Next slide, please. So I'm Robert Jacobson, a game and more recently an XR developer. I would say more on the VR side than the AR side. I actually went to school for environmental science. I don't know if you guys could tell that from the hiking photo. But I actually spent most of my time during class, kind of in the back, learning how to code by modding games. And I'm looking to finally turn this hobby into a career. It's been, I started like 6 years ago, learning how to code. So my coding journey actually began as a modder of mods. The collection you see on the right is actually, it's all from one game, Don't Starve Together. And all of those actually started as somebody else's mod. And then I found things that didn't work or I wanted to add to it. And I sometimes worked with people, sometimes just got their permission to do my own project. And in other cases, actually just gave them the code to update it. So that was a 2 to 3 year period that I spent during my master's and also kind of my undergrad. Next slide, please. So just before we get into it, some of you may not know what it is for the modding part. So Don't Starve Together is actually a game developed by Clay Studios. They're here in Vancouver where I am. It's like a survival game, so it kind of starts off slow, and then the idea is that you build up and you might get to like big boss battles later. But what I did with some of my game modes was actually made that more action. I actually really didn't, like this game I played a lot. It's my second most played game on Steam, but I didn't enjoy the base gameplay, but they created such a system that allowed people to create all this stuff that it kept me occupied for a very long time. And I actually worked on a game mode called Starving Floor, which you're about to see. Next slide, please. So this actually got quite popular, was not really expected because it was mostly just for me and my friends. There's YouTube videos of it. And you'll notice in the middle one is actually even as recent as a year ago. And I stopped working on this project in around 2020. And I actually even got a comment recently on it. Just hit the next slide, please. So I did kind of get roped into still developing this because I see that and I feel a little guilty about not finishing it fully. But there's just a few limitations to this. So I moved on to other projects. Next slide, please. So it is a mod at the end of the day. And, you know, I'm making a game inside of a game. And so you're constantly working against, and the game's constantly being developed. So it turned into a lot of maintenance. I I really enjoyed my time and I learned a lot, but I wanted to make an original game. So when I came to Circuit Stream, that was kind of my idea, to take all of the stuff I learned over 3 years of modding the Starving Floor and turn it into its own game. And so that's where Be There, Be Square comes in. So the idea is that it's going to be Starving Floor, but reimagined as a shooter, and it's objective based. So the Starving Floor was kind of wave based. You have to kill monsters, and that's how you progress. I still like that idea, but I wanted to take it into more of like an objective, give players many ways to do things. And this is kind of what it looks like right now. So one of the biggest things I learned from doing my own game and not a mod was realistic scope is really important. With the modding, I had a lot to fall back on. There was like an established game already. So even though I was modifying behaviors, there's just so much already made. So when it came to making my own systems, it actually took up most of my time over the past month, because I really want to make a game that is moddable, like Don't Starve Together, because that's what got me into this. And the systems are, yeah, it's a lot of work. So there's still a lot for me to learn, and a lot I want to focus on. So this is a few of the elements. So yeah, like we've mentioned before, learning never stops. There's so many things, and each of these, it's a huge concept. So I'm still actively developing this and also still working on the Starving Floor, but I'm probably gonna like do one more update for that and finish. And I want to start making my own stuff, fully owned stuff. And then, yeah, let's connect. So I've been watching all of your LinkedIns and connecting with you guys there. Mine's listed. My portfolio is actually more of the main site to connect with me on. And thanks everyone for watching.
Great job, Robert. Well done. Thank you for your presentation here. And up next to the stage, I will invite Shay and Kennon. Here they are.
There, thank you.
You're most welcome. Good luck.
All right. So, hello everybody. Welcome to Ye Olde Presentation, our Ye Olde presentation about our game, Ye Olde Bullet Hell. This is developed by Akshay, Seth, my partner, as well as myself, Kennon Dong. Next slide, please.
All right. Well, hi, I'm Akshay. I was a computer science major at Langara and graduated at Lighthouse Labs. I worked in game development and Java applications, and I have a huge passion for game development and started working in C#.
Yep, and my name is Kennon Dong. I graduated Douglas College in Vancouver with a diploma in computing studies and information systems. I have tons of experience with programming and technical skills such as Java, C#, Python, SQL, and MongoDB. And I also would like to apply these skills and creativity to game development. Next slide, please. All right. So our goal for this game, we were inspired by we want to make it a roguelike game, inspired by Risk of Rain. We also wanted to make a bit first-person shooter. To add a bit of fun to it and make it our own, we wanted to put in medieval Europe, because why not? We also wanted to make it a 3D game. And to challenge ourselves a little bit, we also wanted to put it into a semi-procedural world. Next slide, please.
So when we started this project, we had a couple of goals in mind that we wanted to have for the first base game, our first prototype. In our second week, we established our core game mechanics, and we finished up our core game mechanics in that first week. And then on our third week, we completed what we thought was a prototype, which all our game mechanics were working functionally, and our core was there. And then finally, when we were finishing off, we had made a lot of polish to the game, adding additional bug fixes and so on, just to make the game look a lot nicer. Next slide, please. So the struggles that we faced with this project was the development log and documentation, mostly because me and Ken both were kind of thinking about who's going to read this, developers, maybe people who like the game, who are keeping up with the game, and we just didn't know how we wanted to approach that. We were also struggling with our goals. At the start, I had mentioned that we had very big goals for the game. We wanted to add so much, but at the start, we were kind of making our goals too big. So narrowing that scope really was hard for us. And world designing your own procedural world is a lot more difficult than both of us had expected. So it was a bit of a challenge for us. But the solutions we came up with were constant communication. Me and Kennon were always trying to communicate, always trying to talk about what we needed to do, keeping each other accountable for what we needed to get done throughout the week, what our goals were for that week, and keeping our scope closer to what we wanted. And obviously peer review coded, always looking at what we're coding, always making sure that it makes sense to both of us so we don't run into any errors. And then we should be going to our demo. Yeah. Welcome to Ye Olde Bullet Hell, the first-person roguelike shooter. Bullet Hell is a setting in the medieval times that have somehow gotten their hands on weapons of mass destruction, rocket launchers, pistols. Arm yourself up with a Glock 19 and mow them down. Bullet Hell continuously will flood the field with as many of these knights as possible. Your goal is to just mow them down. Each knight has its own point value and will continuously build up your score. This score can be utilized, though, to use the item shops to your right. These shops have powerful power-ups to increase your health and health regeneration. The goal of this game was mostly to make a roguelike, like Risk of Rain, collecting power-ups and mowing down as many enemies as you can, getting to a big boss room at the very end. This game was developed by both myself, Akshay, Seth, and Kenny Dong. Check out our game, download on itch.io, leave us feedback. We're going to continuously update this game, and we'd really like to hear what you guys think playing of it. So thank you so much. There we go.
All right. So takeaways and what we have planned in the future. Like Akshay said, procedurally generated levels is a little bit more complicated than we first imagined. So we do still want to add that. We also want to add more enemy variety. So far, we only have like 3 or 4 enemies. We also want to add more accessibility to the game, creating a setting menu for players to change the volume of the game, change their key bindings if they need to, etc. We also want to add more bosses to the game, make things a bit more fun, add some unlockables, because that's always fun, and of course more weapons to use, like rocket launchers, sniper rifles, machine guns, etc. And yeah, we do plan on adding more features in the future. Next slide, please. And yeah, if you are interested in hiring for internships or jobs, please get in contact with us. Here's our information. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Great job, you two. Well done. Next up to the stage, I would like to invite Sayer.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just getting a little notification, though, that you may be having some connection issues. But if everything's good on your end, then you're good
Seems
to go.
to be working. All right.
Awesome.
We'll
Good
get her
luck.
going. Thank you. All right. So I'm presenting Elemental Guardian Defense today. Next slide, please. Hello, my name is Sayer Weselak. I am an aspiring video game developer, eager to embark on my first career in the industry. I am open to remote and hybrid work opportunities, and I'm willing to relocate, take internships, mentorships, or any of the necessary steps to kickstart my journey. To provide you with a bit of context about why I'm passionate about video game development, my early years were spent in the flat landscapes of Regina, Saskatchewan, where I found solace in video games due to the limited entertainment options. Some of my first gaming experiences included Worms Armageddon, Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PS2, and Balloon Tower Defense. Fast forward to my high school graduation, I initially pursued mechanical engineering at UBCO. However, after 2 years of study, I realized that my true passion laid in game development, as I'd often spend hours watching content from development YouTubers such as Danny and Brackies. The creative and problem-solving aspects of the game development industry related with me, and I knew I'd found my calling. This led me to discover Circuit Stream and the Unity Bootcamp. Elemental Guardian Defense is my capstone project for the Unity Developer Bootcamp. It is a high-fidelity prototype of a tower defense game where players use elemental gems to enhance tower abilities. I partnered with Bo and Wu for this project. Unfortunately, he opted out of the pitch day, but I was the team lead and the lead programmer. I drew inspiration from Bracky's tower defense tutorial and a game called Gemcraft. This slide shows how I went from the early design stage, including prototyping and ULM charting, to future plans and where the game is at today. And next is just my demo.
Welcome to the enchanting world of Elemental Guardian Defense. In this exciting tower defense game, you are the guardian of the realm. Your mission, defend against relentless waves of enemies. Strategically place your towers to fend off the never-ending horde of invaders. Enhance your towers with elemental gems, each with its unique power. Deal increased damage with the air gem. Slow enemies with the ice gem. Burn your enemies with the fire gem. And stop your enemies in your track with the earth gem. Face an array of foes, from basic minions to speedy attackers and tanky adversaries. Are you ready to become the ultimate guardian? Elemental Guardian Defense awaits you.
All right, so the development of Elemental Guardian Defense came with its fair share of challenges. First being that the tower defense genre is very saturated with games that define the genre's mechanics. Generating innovative ideas was difficult, but the concept of adding the Gemcraft element to it to change the tower abilities came as a very promising solution. Additionally, I learned that completing a project provides some invaluable insights for future iterations, such as optimizing the code, for example, implementing some object pools for enemies and projectiles, as well as just refining the code structure were two very important lessons I took away from it. Scope creep was another hurdle, but by adhering to a solid game design document and using an idea pool, my team and I managed to stay on track. And lastly, I'll admit that my drag and drop system needs some further refinement and debugging, but unfortunately, resources for implementing the drag and drop system between different game objects was rather scarce. From this project, I've gained several takeaways for my future career. My love for coding has grown exponentially. I've honed my skills in areas like wave management, state machines, and raycasting. And I've also fixed my time management with tools like Jira and Miro, helping me seek structure in the development process. Moving forward, I plan to update Elemental Guardian Defense, focusing on improving the drag and drop system and expanding the game with more levels, enemies, and towers. I also aim to add a challenging boss wave and enhance the game's aesthetic and sound design. These improvements will create a bit more of an immersive medieval world. And as for my personal journey, I'm excited about my prospects in the game development industry. Again, I am open to internships and mentorships opportunities to further my career. I'm also committed to continuous learning and plan to embark on some personal projects to foster my creativity. In closing, I'd like to express my gratitude for everyone giving me the opportunity to present. I'd like to thank Circuit Stream for making my dream career become a reality, and my fellow cohort members for all the fantastic projects today. I'm excited to see where everyone's journey takes them, and if you'd like to get in touch, my contact information is on the screen. Thank you very much.
Well done, Sayer. Excellent job. Up next, I will invite Andrew to the stage. Our second Andrew.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, good luck.
Thank you. As stated, I'm one of the two Andrews here. Go to the next slide just to talk a little bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Surrey, BC, Canada. I'm a Unity and C# developer. I've dabbled in a bit of art here and there, as you'll see a couple of them sprinkled out throughout the presentation. I'm an undergrad in psychology, as well as I'm currently looking for work. Next slide. So a basic rundown of the game Project Hermes, which is a development title. You launch the player character. Over a certain distance translates into gold. You use that gold to upgrade to go even further. You keep repeating this until you accomplish a certain distance in which a wall will spawn. You have to have a certain height and distance to get over it. You're not without challenge, however. You will be required to get over the wall after a certain number of days. Otherwise, you will lose, in a sense. Next slide. Oh, there it is. So the game can be divided into two states. There's the main launch, which is what we see here, and the basic premise is you launch your character through the air, earn gold by distance, and go again. You can repeat this several times to gain more gold, or you can visit the shop, which we'll see in a moment. Now here we can see the shop. We have a variety of upgrades that we can do, from air balancing to increasing our launch strength, giving us wings. And as we buy, our gold decreases and that gets added on. Now, repeating the run, we can actually see that we get a lot further, which is noticed by the meters traveled at the top. Sorry, I was just muted there. A little bit of a breakdown of the initial planning. Initial planning started with just me. I was a solo dev, but there was a lot of planning involved, charts, diagrams. Definitely didn't want to get scope creep, so that was following the Moscow model was very helpful. Then there was the rough concepts, so shapes, flinging the shape, calculating distance, that sort of thing, translating that into gold. Second week was shop setup. So scriptable objects played a key role here, and rather than implementing every single upgrade, which there were many of them, I just used scriptable objects to kind of streamline the process, saving time and effort. The third week was implementing the upgrades, as well as menus, parallax scrolling for the main gameplay, since the player will spend a lot of time there. As, of course, putting in the win and loss conditions. And finally, we have some music and sound added, as well as plans to implement my own art, scaling and such, as well as general testing and code cleanup. Next slide, please. So a couple of problems and challenges that I faced. Oh, we missed one. So one of the biggest problems I can define was tangibility. So how did players see that their upgrades actually mattered? So I corrected this problem with enums, which alongside with the scriptable objects, I can manipulate the values of launch distance and bounciness of the character and all that, as well as I added dictionaries for spawnables, so that basically can add in as it goes, as we buy. Next slide. So another problem was consistency. So how did I keep players gold and record distance across scenes? So one of the biggest things that helped this was don't destroy unload with the player data script. But I also plan to move to JSON saving to not only allow the player to keep consistency over one game, but also load games in the future. Next slide. Finally, is the balance. The upgrades are insane. They even overshoot the end condition, so that's definitely a problem. I plan to implement upgrade limits as well as various checks to see that certain thresholds can't be overstepped, as well as I plan to have plenty of play testing involving family and friends just to see what gets some feedback and how can I change the outcomes. Next slide. So basic takeaways from this would be data, definitely data holding and data dictionaries. Those were definitely big parts of this project. And moving forward, I plan to scale up and add my own art to this, just to replace the shapes and such. And I hope to make a more challenging and fun game. I want to take this time to thank you for your patience and your participation in this. I definitely appreciate you taking the time to view this. And I will be available on email and LinkedIn, which is shared in the chat, which is fantastic. Thank you very much.
Great job, Andrew. Well done. Last, but absolutely not least, I would like to invite to the stage Lukas, William, Phil, and Kennon.
Oh my god. It all works.
Lukas, it works. Lukas was having some issues with his tech here, but he's all good now.
That relaxes me. Okay.
Okay, you four, good luck.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is William, and I am presenting alongside the rest of my group. We have made a great VR puzzle game with roguelike elements called Low Poly Escapade VR Try Challenge. Now, I know that's a mouthful, but I promise it really explains the game. As I mentioned, my name is William. I live in Toronto. During the day, I'm a project manager with a background in development. And for this game, I was the project manager and the audio engineer as well. I am hoping for a job in design or producing, and I'm willing to work remote. And now I'll let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Lukas. I live in a little town outside of Vancouver called Seashelt. I do have my certificate in XR development and design. I have a big interest in level design and game architecture, and I'm hoping to start a career in all those things. And also, I wouldn't mind working remotely, hybrid, or on-site.
Hi, I'm Phil. I live in Calgary, and I'm looking to start a career in game development or possibly an internship. I would prefer remote work, but I'm open to relocation. As a programmer and level designer on this project, I've been playing video games all my life and really enjoy creating experiences that I can share with others and building worlds. And fun fact about me, I learned to fly glider planes in my late teens.
Hi, I'm McDowell, and I'm located in Vancouver, British Columbia. I have some prior experience with coding as I studied CSS and HTML in post-secondary. I'm interested in a career as a developer, engineer, or level designer, and I'm open to working remotely, on-site, or hybrid. Next slide, please.
So we got together as a group to work on this project because we all thought we were great developers, and we all wanted to create a VR game. Lukas also presented us with the biomes that he had already made, and we thought we could make some really cool levels out of them. And now, if we go to the next slide, it's time to show you the trailer.
Embark on a pulse-pounding treasure hunt in the scorching heart of the desert. Armed with nothing but a trusty metal detector, your wits, and an adrenaline-fueled determination, you must uncover the hidden secrets of the sands. The mission is clear. Locate 7 precious jewels buried beneath the shifting dunes before the relentless sandstorm engulfs you. The only guide is the rhythmic pulse of your metal detector, leading you through the vast expanse of golden grains. Embark on an enchanted journey deep within the heart of a mystical forest, where the rustle of leaves conceals secrets and magical encounters await. A charismatic, talking snake has bestowed upon you a whimsical quest. Gather the scattered animals that roam this enchanting realm and guide them back to their serpentine mentor. Your mission is not just a task, it's a dance with nature, a symphony of discovery where each step reveals the wonders of a magical world. Step into the sun-soaked realm of a beachside puzzle extravaganza, where the shimmering sands hold the key to your escape. Stranded on this picturesque shoreline, you must scour the beach for hidden keys scattered like golden whispers in the sand. Unlock treasure chests scattered across the shore and unlock the pathway to freedom. But beware, the clock is ticking, and lurking pirates are hot on your trail. The race is on. Can you decipher the puzzle?
So as you saw in the demo, the first level the player is in is the desert biome. In the desert, the player is given a metal detector and has to look for jewels hidden under the ground. I used on-hit colliders, so when the player interacts with the jewel, the UI counter will go up and the game will keep track of that. If the player is unable to finish the objective in the given time, a sandstorm I created with a particle system in Unity will appear, signaling the end of the game. Once the condition of collecting 7 jewels is met, a portal to the next biome will open, allowing the player to travel to the forest. And now I will pass it off to Phil.
So in the forest biome, the snake is the main NPC that gives you the quest and asks you to find his friends. One of the main ways that you do this is by listening to the direction and intensity of the animal sounds and move towards them. Some challenges are getting the dialogue box to pop up in a VR-friendly way, the 3D sound to work properly, as well as changing the text as the level progresses, and getting the AI to not get hung up on the train when traveling.
I worked on the beach biome puzzle. With the socket interactor as the main component, it helped make this puzzle really come to life, and also make the treasure hunt a little bit more interactive with the VR gimmick. Given the low poly aesthetic of these levels and biomes, it wasn't that hard for our team to come together and really put this thing to life with some fun, crazy stuff. The main objective of the beach biome is to locate all the chests and find all the keys that open them up, and then get to your boat to escape the deadly pirates. Next scene, please. For the timeline for us, basically coming together from certain parts of the country was one of the parts that was hard to organize sprints, meetings, and scrums, but also it did teach us a lot of working remotely and hitting the deadlines when we actually wanted to work harder together. Furthermore, when figuring out the concept, we had fun throwing our own ideas and coming up with storylines for each of the biomes.
So as Lucas mentioned, a problem we had during production was the fact that we all lived in different time zones across Canada. So we used Jira to create sprints so that we could keep each other up to date on what we were working on and what we completed without actually having to get together. Also, using GitHub as a collaboration tool was a big help, as it helped us work on separate branches without getting in each other's way.
In the QA and polishing phase, we did just some general debugging and bug fixes, added sound effects, and polished up the levels.
And for release, we successfully built and published Low Poly Escapade to ish.io, and we're so happy with the final product. However, this isn't the end. We plan on building more levels, biomes, and puzzles. And actually, Lucas has already designed the next biome in our project. You can look forward to exploring a mall filled with you can explore a mall filled with different shops and attractions in the near future. We plan on working together on this project even after our time with Circus Stream is up. Next slide, please.
So that about wraps things up, ladies and gentlemen. But just to reiterate, my name is William, and I'm looking for a job in game design or producing, and would be looking to work locally in Toronto or remote.
Hi, my name is Lucas. Working again on this project was so much fun with these guys. I'm personally looking for a career in game architecture, level design, or VR development, remote, hybrid, or on-site.
Thank you for watching our presentation. Again, my name is Keon McDowell, and I'm looking for a career as a developer, engineer, or level designer, and I'm open to working remotely, on-site, or hybrid.
And I'm Phil, and I'm looking to start a career in game development, preferably in Calgary, but would definitely consider relocating and would consider internship or mentorship. On behalf of the team, I'd like to thank you for watching our presentation, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Awesome job. Well done. Well done. So that's a wrap for the demos here. Ooh, Q&A. Okay, there we go. I'll invite Wonai back on stage here to join me as we send everyone off.
All right. Congratulations, everybody.
Congrats. Want to go to our next slide, Wonai?
All right. I just want to offer my sincere congratulations to each of our graduates. I know how hard you've all worked, and you should be very proud of yourselves. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you and helping you leverage your strengths, and I'm looking forward to continuing to help you reach your career goals. And I also wanted to talk briefly about our global network for those that are interested in joining our global partner network. Please get in touch with me at wonai@circuitstream.com or reach out to me on LinkedIn. We have various partnership opportunities at CircuitStream, and these include training, hiring, internship, and other experiential learning partnership opportunities.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And I want to give a big shout out to Wonai because this is her first time doing a pitch day with us. And she was controlling the slides. We were fighting through internet issues and live storm issues. So major, major kudos to you, Wonai. We pulled it off despite the odds. So thanks to you. And thanks to all our presenters, and thank you for our industry partners for joining us today.
Oh, and Arki, was Sky able to figure out their situation?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked my email here. I don't know if you want to stop the stream at this point, Wonai, or if you want to stay on.